What's going on, guys? ChillisFM here, taking a look at Shadow Zapdos in the Open Great League. Guys, this thing is more than just a meme in the current meta. It is actually good. It is currently ranked number 81 on PvPoke, and it picks up an impressive 19 and 21 win rate in the one shield. Yes, that is less wins than losses, but it does have a positive battle rating, 523. And as most of y'all know that use PvPoke all the time, anything above 500 is a positive battle rating, meaning the things that it wins very well, and the things that it loses, mostly they're not horrible. Things like Bastiodon, things like Stunfisk are absolutely horrible. You have to avoid those at all costs, but anything else it can really fight back against. What's even more crazy is if this thing gets a farm down, I'm talking anything little, 3 Thunder Shocks, that win rate improves to 28 and 12, a 70% win rate in the one shot scenario. This thing's good. Now, it is a very glassy Pokemon. I know some people don't like using glassy Pokemon. I love using glassy Pokemon. So every day that I play this team, and I've honestly been kind of keeping this as a secret weapon since the beginning of the season. I played this team like in the very first rotation of Great League. And I was at the lower rank, so I was just kind of running it for spice at that time. But the more I play it, the more I believe it's just really good. It's really good. You're going to see it put in a ton of work on this team in this video. We're going to jump into some of these battles, but I did want to announce that my battle submission form is back open. I will put a link to that in the description and also in the pinned comment. So if you have some fun Great League battles, or of course we have the Electric Cup coming up as well, go ahead and send them my way. It can be Spice, it can be a Climb team, whichever. I will definitely take a look at everything that comes my way. I'm not saying I will guaranteeing that I'll feature everything, but I'll definitely at least give it a look. All right, let's go ahead and get on into some of these battles. Leave a like, leave a comment. Let's go. All right, we got Bastiodon here. This game's already over. All we gotta do is reach this Focus Blast, and that's going to be taking out the Basti. So we did get to see Shadow Zapdos put in a little work there. All right, we took out the Medicham with the banked Drill Peck, and we hit it hard. Thunderbolt into the Bastiodon. All right, Altaria lead. In hindsight, I misplayed this. The better play is to stay in with Medicham, throw the Ice Punch, and then immediately pivot into Registeel. Reason being, energy we don't care about on Registeel, and the Sky Attacks are also resisted on Zapdos. The Dragon Breaths are what's going to add up. So if I can get it low with Medicham by landing the double super effective Ice Punch, that's really the better option. Regardless, they don't have a hard answer to Registeel, so they do end up staying in with their Altaria, which allows us to get it pretty low, and then they come out with a Lickitung. I do go for the Focus Blast here. I'm expecting a no shield since they know I have a Medicham waiting on them, but they do throw up a shield. Yes, there's an argument to be made that if I went Zap Cannon and I got the attack drop, possibly I could have made it to another move, but I didn't really want to risk it considering I didn't expect them to shield. Medicham comes back in, they land a Body Slam. We're going to be able to easily make it to this Psychic. This will be hitting very hard. It is only neutral, and it won't take them out. So they will be able to get off one more Body Slam before I counter them down. It's going to put Medicham pretty low. These licks definitely do hurt since they do hit for super effective, but I am close to an Ice Punch. I'm going to stay in and throw it into the Altaria. However, my opponent knows that I have energy. They come in with Registeel instead. Very smart play by my opponent, but I am going to bank energy on Medicham and come out with Shadow Zapdos. Unfortunately, I do get the attack drop with the first Zap Cannon. But y'all gonna see what Zapdos up a shield can do right here. Thunderbolt comes through, puts them into the red. Out comes an Altaria. We don't care about the attack drop right now. We don't care. We're just gonna go for this Drill Peck, and it's gonna take out the Altaria. At this point, all we gotta do is make it to 2 Drill Pecks against the Registeel. They know it's over, and they top left. That's gonna be GG's. Well played to my opponent. All right, into the next one. We got Medicham up against a Dunsparce lead. So this is a great lead for Medicham. They're going to be swapping out into their own Medicham. I'm just going to go ahead and answer with my Shadow Zapdos. We can just go immediately for the Drill Peck here. It's not going to one-shot, but we do greatly outpace Medicham. Even if they're running like Pup, Ice Punch, we're going to outpace. It only takes 9 to 2 Drill Pecks. So they let the first one go. They do actually end up baiting me, and that is going to allow them to play out the 2 shield if they want to, which they do. So that's perfectly fine with me. I'll go ahead and throw up another shield. We're going to get a farm down with Zapdos, and y'all already know Zapdos with energy is nuts. So we do get the full farm down. Out comes the Dunsparce. We are going to throw the Thunderbolt immediately. Dunsparce is very bulky, but it just doesn't look like it when that Thunderbolt lands. It really doesn't. And we're even going to make it to the next Drill Peck here, which I threw on alignment there. I thought maybe they would throw on CMP. We're never making it to another Drill Peck anyways. So like we miss out on a Thunder Shock. Doesn't really matter. In the back, they have an Azumarill. Shields Down Registeel is definitely going to win against Azumarill. This game is pretty well in the bag unless my opponent can pull off some nasty switch, snipe, something. They play it out, which I respect. I do respect. We do get the attack drop there though, and the Hydro Pump just does nothing. I honestly thought that was like undercharged or something, but I guess not since they're playing it out. It must have been a full bubble Hydro. Regardless, we're going to get the Zap. We're going to take out the Azumarill. And out comes Dunsparce. One Drill Run from this doesn't even take out Registeel from this range. Registeel is a beast. So we do survive. I think they could roll out me down. So I do swap out into Medicham. They throw some energy. I don't even need to throw with Medicham though. We're just going to get this game over as quickly as possible. We're just going to punch on down. And that's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. All right, so good lead there. We got a tough lead here. Medicham into Noctowl. And I should actually mention this. I led Medicham because I thought Medicham would be one of the best leads in this meta, but it did not feel like it, man. I lost so many leads. Like, at best, I was finding neutral leads with the Medicham mirror. I think that Dunsparce was like one of the like 2 good leads that I saw. But regardless, we're going to be able to play this out. We're going to be able to get shield advantage here with Registeel. And Medicham up a shield can fight back against a Noctowl. So that's what we're going to go for. We do get the attack drop there, which is really nice because now I can come with my own Medicham and the 2 Psychics that they are inevitably going to be able to reach are not going to be threatening. First one does absolutely nothing. No defense drop either. Perfect. We're just going to go for the counter down, knowing that the Ice Punches are going to be threatening to that Noctowl. I believe it takes 3 like raw damage to take out Noctowl, or 2 plus a bunch of counters. We pivot out into Zapdos. We lure out a Lantern. So out of the electric types, we're both taking neutral from all the electric type damage. We do connect with the Thunderbolt, and now of course they're just going to be spamming out Surf. Surf is their weaker move, but it's going to just about take out my Zapdos, so it makes sense. Regardless, I can throw on CMP here, force a shield from my opponent. Actually, it was not CMP. That was not CMP, but they were over farming. So at this point, I'm just going to match shields. And again, we're going to farm up and go for the CMP. This time they do throw on CMP. Makes sense, but Drill Peck is going to be taking them out. Now, this Noctowl does have some energy. I know I'm not going to make it to the Thunderbolt, and I know I don't need it. I'm just going to go ahead and CMP again with the Drill Peck. Drill Peck is going to be putting them into the yellow. They're going to be throwing the Sky Attack here. I do make the smart play, which is undercharging, but regardless, I can just pivot down to Medicham. I go for Ice Punch. Psychic does hit harder. I wasn't sure. Maybe I needed 2 Ice Punches. I'm just not that familiar with Medicham, but 1 Ice Punch does take out. So GG's, well played. Jumping on into the next battle. So Medicham Mirror, we talked about it, right? Saw a few of these. I do have a 6 attack on my Medicham. I'd say I win CMP about 70% of the time. So I don't like to throw the first Psychic on CMP because if they know I'm going to be winning CMP, they're more likely to go for a catch. If they don't know, then they're more likely to just play this out. And I always like to just play out the zeros. If they shield up the Psychic, they want to hit me with the Psychic, cool, I'll let it go. But they do decide to let their Medicham go. Noctowl in the back, and we lure out the Stunfisk with the pivot into Registeel. So this is exactly what I needed, right? Shadow Zapdos wants absolutely nothing to do with this Stunfisk, and they're going to be throwing energy here now. Argument to be made, maybe I should be 2 shielding here and making sure that I land a Focus Blast, but I was a little bit afraid of getting baited with a Rock Slide, so I do let the first one go. We're going to make it to this next Focus Blast here anyways, and they're going to have to throw some energy, otherwise I make it to a 3rd Focus Blast. So they do throw a little bit early. This will be a Rock Slide. It will be taking out my Registeel, but I can come back in with Medicham immediately, and I do have to shield up the Rock Slide, unfortunately. There's no way around it. We can't have Zapdos aligned on this thing. They come out with the Noctowl, and they did have some energy, so this will be the Shadow Ball. Can Shadow Zapdos take it? Yes, we can. Thankfully, these wing attacks are resisted. We're gonna go straight for the Thunderbolt as soon as I get it. Now, hindsight, I could have overfarmed. That's why I tried to undercharge this, but of course, it's going to be taking out the Noctowl. Out comes a Medicham. We're gonna make it to this Drill Peck. It's single resisted. It does a lot for a single resisted move, though. Puts them into the yellow. At this point, they're low, but they're not in Ice Punch range. Again, even though Psychic is resisted, Ice Punch is neutral. Psychic is going to be the harder hitting move. I think I looked it up, and Ice Punch does like 17%, and Psychic does like 21%. So went ahead and went for the Psychic. I knew it was going to be on CMP. I was confident in my counts that time. So anyways, GG's. Well played. Very close battle. Into the next one, up against an Azumarill lead. Medicham's not horrible against Azumarill, but we have better answers in the back. So I do pivot out into my Registeel, and we lure out a Sableye. And this is exactly where I want to see Sableye. Medicham obviously doesn't want to see it. Shadow Zapdos is just not great against it. I think the one shield is IV dependent, but that also is bait dependent. You have to get the shield with the Drill Peck and then land the Thunderbolt. Meanwhile, these Shadow Claws just tear through Zapdos. This is where we want to see it. They're going to hit me with another Foul Play. I'm going to hit them with the next Zap Cannon. They can no-shield this and survive. I believe they do. Yeah, they do. But look how little these Shadow Claws are doing. Like, my Lock-Ons are doing just as much as the Shadow Claws. So they do have to throw here, but I'm going to go ahead and shield it up, knowing that I can make it to the next Focus Blast before they get to another Foul Play. And I'm going to just throw the Focus Blast. I could have gone Zap Cannon, but I would have had to overfarm, and I was afraid they would get to another Foul Play if I overfarmed. Either that, I was going to be throwing on alignment, and they are forced to throw here regardless. They were one lock on from going down. I'm going to take the shield advantage and the energy lead on Zapdos. We know this thing is crazy with shields and energy. They come out with an Altaria. I make a misplay here. Two Drill Pecks take out this Altaria. I went for the Thunderbolt, and there's no reason to. It doesn't put them closer to Ice Punch range. The Drill Peck would have put them in Ice Punch range. So a little bit of a misplay, whatever. Out comes Azumarill. We can go ahead and throw the Psychic here. Does put them into the yellow already. Not sure that this is a fully XL'd Azumarill. Maybe it is. I decided to go ahead and throw up a shield. I think there was two ways that I could possibly win this. If I no-shielded that and saved my shield for Zapdos, maybe I could farm up to double Drill Peck and then Drill Peck both of the remaining Pokemon. But I was a little bit afraid that they'd be able to pivot at some point and snipe my Zapdos after grabbing a shield with their Azumarill. So decided to play it out this way, farm up as much as I dare. We're one counter away from the Ice Punch, and this Ice Punch will be taking out this Altaria. That's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. They definitely had the Sky Attack there, by the way. But I think they thought if they threw that, I would outpace with Zapdos, which maybe I would have. It would have been really close. All right, Nightmare of a lead here. Trevenant into Medicham. We're going to be swapping out into Registeel, which is not a Trevenant answer. It is better than Medicham, but it's not good. We're going to make it to the Zap Cannon here. This is definitely non-lethal. It will put them... Like, this is a really bad lead. This is a really bad lead because it doesn't really put them in Thundershock down range since Thundershock is resisted. It doesn't put them in counter down range. But we're going to go ahead and let this go. And honestly, they could have Seed Bombed and farmed down there, but they do Shadow Ball. And I'm very thankful for that because now I can come in with my Zapdos and I can actually overfarm a little bit myself, knowing that they're likely not to throw the Seed Bomb immediately. Seed Bomb hurts, by the way. It does hurt, even though it's a crappy move and it's resisted. But anyways, we overfarm, we take him out. Out comes the Registeel. So I'm hoping it's double steal. That way Medicham can go crazy in the back. But if it was, maybe they would have answered my Registeel with something different. So we're going to land the Thunderbolt. I am going to go ahead and shield up my Zapdos here. Of course, Zap Cannon does get the attack drop. I'm going to store a Drill Peck and then come out with Medicham. In the back is an Azumarill. If I'm honest, this game doesn't look that good right now. Medicham down to shields not beating Azumarill. So we're never going to see Medicham onto that Registeel again. And yeah, this Azumarill still has 2 shields. I'll go ahead and no shield. If it's play rough, I think I would have barely survived and got the Psychic off still. The Hydro Pump instead. And that's great for me because now I'm able to get this Psychic off and they still have to throw another move to take out my Medicham. We grab a shield with that Psychic. We do get the defense drop, which is nice, but not necessary. Ice Beam takes out Medicham. I'm going to be over farming here. I'm going to throw the Drill Peck, and if they want to get off their Ice Beam, they have to give up their final shield, which they do. They're going to be throwing, of course, the Ice Beam here. I'm not exactly sure how close they are to the next one. I know I can overfarm by a little bit. They come out with Registeel. Registeel was pretty much dry. I really should have overfarmed a little bit more here. Maybe even gone for the Thunderbolt to ensure the KO. But regardless, we take out the Registeel. And we take out the Azumarill. Back-to-back Drill Pecks. And that's going to be GG's. Hopefully to my opponent. That's going to be it for today. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment down below. If you got battles to send me, form is in the comments and in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my channel members for your support. And until next time, this is ChillisFM reminding you to always keep pushing forward.